might need to go get the charge, and I don't know yet. If I do, it'll cut off. I'll just go get it.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna get into the book. You wanna state your name for the family?
How you doing? My name is Dwayne. How you doing, Israel?
All right. Let's see. You got any questions? Things you might always wanted to know.
My main thing is, you know what I'm really at Esau. That's what's really, because I'm hearing some people say Esau is a white man, and other people saying Esau's not the white man, and some people saying Esau is the Arab, and then other people saying Esau is the white man, and then people saying Esau is not the white man because David was red, and it's just I'm not. They say the Bible say David was red, and they say that Esau was red. So if Esau was red and David was red, you know, and it just can. It's just I'm really need some guidance on that.
So what's your question?
My question is, who is Esau? If you can expound on it to me. Me personally, I kind of do feel it might be the white man. I really do feel that way personally because of it says Esau is going to be it to me. I think it's either him or I think it's the Ashkenazi Jews. That's who I think it is, one or two. But I'm not sure. And I'm not really sure about it.
Let's examine Esau for a minute. The brother that I know who has expounded the most on Esau is a brother named Obadiah Ben Abba Yisrael here at Behetzabah, Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
I give that brother a lot of respect for the teachings that he did on Esau years ago. And he did a lot of research about black people that were red hair.
Okay.
That was our people.
Right.
Scripture say Esau is our brother.
Right.
He's our brother.
Right.
So are you actually saying that the European man is your brother?
That's where I was getting my confusion from because I was like, because I know that Esau, that is our brother. He came before us and we came after him, even though we are the tail now, but we're going to be the head. You know what I mean? And that's like I told you I listen to Pastor Dow sometime, and that's what he said. He said so if Esau is the white man, then you mean tell me the white man's a Hebrew, and that's not, and that's
because
not.
that's what it would mean.
Right, and that's
if
not.
If the white man was Esau, he's your brother, then he would also have
had to be a Hebrew, and that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That's what I was saying. That's why I was so confusing because then some people would tell me that no, Esau's in the Middle East, and it was supposed to be the Arab nations. I'm not sure about that. I don't know.
Well, I'll give you that brother's phone number so you can call him and have an in-depth conversation with him.
I would love.
But that's just something for you to think about. If Esau is a white man, then that means that white man is Hebrew.
Right, and that's impossible. That's impossible.
Any other questions?
I think that answered that because that's impossible. Oh man, this is a joy just being here. Just learning right there. This is a joy. I would say that we already discussed David. Another question about the tribulation. Some people say that the elect won't be here for the tribulation, and then others say the elect will be here until the tribulation is over.
The elect won't be here. What's the tribulation?
Well, Jacob's troubles.
We live in Jacob's trouble right now.
That's what I think. That's what I was saying. That's what I was
saying. We in Jacob's trouble right. Our people getting killed every day on the streets, right?
That's the same thing I was thinking.
The food is poison.
That's
right?
the same thing I was saying.
We own no land, do we?
Right.
We have no power. We don't control anything. Our children are being molested.
Right.
Our wives are being raped, and our men are being shot dead in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Are we in Jacob's troubles now?
I believe so.
Are we here now?
Yes.
So are the elect amongst us?
Yeah.
So then that's a fab.
Exactly.
It's a fabrication.
Exactly.
Come on, what I said to you before, common sense. Use common sense when you examine things that people have taught you for so long. And what they try to teach you today. Use common sense with these things.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Creator says that He will prepare Jacob to meet Him. He wants us to prepare to meet Him, and for the Gentiles to prepare for war.
Right.
So there is going to come a time where they're going to be going to war, killing each other off, If that's what you mean, I don't know.
Mm.
But there's going to be a time when they're going to go in there and they're going to start killing each other. But where are we going to be? Sure, we're going to be affected slightly.
Right.
Probably a lot. It's going to probably impact us a whole lot. But the overall scheme is that we will survive. We will come through. And we will make it. Because we have to inherit the kingdom. Right here on earth.
Right. I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. And because I know that we're supposed to go in the wilderness at some point.
You don't think this is a wilderness?
Yeah, it is not our own.
I just gave you 10 different scenarios.
Exactly.
This is a wilderness.
Right.
Now, it can get a whole lot worse than this.
Right.
I would call that the wilderness. It can get a whole lot worse than this, but this is a form of a wilderness. Here,
Right.
this is horrible, man.
It is. It is.
We don't control anything today.
Anything.
We're not even in our right minds as a people.
Exactly.
Let me explain to you what I mean. Do you think that a mentally challenged child knows that he's mentally challenged?
No.
No. He thinks he's cool.
Right.
He thinks that the things that he is doing is normal for him.
Right.
His behavior is what he knows and what he's normal and accustomed to doing. He
Right.
doesn't think
Right.
that something is wrong with his mind.
Right.
Until you keep putting it in his head, you keep telling him, you got issues, you got issues, you got issues. He'll wake up one day and say, oh, you know what? You're right. I got issues.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't do this like everybody else.
Right.
Think about this, Israel, and for the family that's watching these videos. Why are we the only people that go to everybody else to seek employment?
Right.
Why don't we feed ourselves? Why don't we house ourselves? Why don't we own no land? They call us Negroes, so where's Negro land at?
Nowhere.
There was a land a long time ago called Negro land in Africa on the books, but where is it today? Where's Negro land?
Nowhere that I see.
Nowhere. The land that we have, the land that we know to be Israel, we've been kicked out of.
Right.
And then that land was taken over by somebody else who confiscated it and said that they own it. So what do we actually own or possess today?
Nothing.
So you think we're in the wilderness?
Yeah.
We're in the wilderness right now.
Right.
A wilderness is a time of trouble. And we are definitely in a time of trouble.
Yes, we are. I agree.
We are definitely, our people dying every day. We starving for the knowledge and a closer relationship with the great king. But it's so difficult for us to get it because we got to get out of that sick state of mind. And the thing that has us in that sick state of mind is those religions that given us, that has expounded on our minds for so long and infiltrated our souls, where when you close your eyes and you think about the Creator, the
Right.
first thing you see is a European man. They've expounded in the inward depths of our souls. And even in our prayers, we pray prayers of wickedness because we don't know how to pray to the Almighty. We really don't even know what to say when we
Right.
pray to the Creator.
I agree with that. I agree
It's
with
the
that.
truth.
I agree with that.
We just our minds is that far gone.
I agree with
And we
that.
gravitate to anything that makes us feel good. But we don't gravitate to truth. Truth is the separation of doubt. You have to look, you have to move it to the side, you have to examine it, you have to closely examine it till you can figure out or till it reveals itself to you. And that's the way that you walk.
Man, my mind is being open. I feel it, man. It's and and as far as okay, as far as we already discussed Dawid. As far as Yeshua go, was he a prophet, or was that part of the deception that we?
Did you say Horus?
Oh, that's what that is. Because I know a little bit about Horus, and
What you know about Horus?
I know he was an Egyptian. I know it was a pagan god. I know that, and I know he was an Egyptian. And I know that, if I'm not mistaken, that's where that one seeing eye and all that come from. If I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Horus. Horus had a mother named Isis.
Okay.
Hold on a second, please. Shalom, baby. Shalom.
Shalom.
Yes, baby.
Can you text me the address?
Okay, I'll text it to you. Shalom. It's my daughter.
Okay.
She's supposed to be coming over today. So please forgive me. No, she don't have my address. Everybody got my address. Horus was an Egyptian deity that they worshipped. They claimed that his birthday was on December 25th. He was born of a virgin birth because his mother was married to Osiris, her name was Isis. She was married to Osiris, who had a brother who had a problem with Osiris. The brother ends up killing Osiris and cutting his body, dismembering his body, and putting his body all over the planet. And Isis went on a discovery trip to try to find his body to reconstruct and bring Osiris back to life. Well, she found everything except the penis. So then this is what the history says.
Yeah, that's why that obelisk and all that the
Yeah,
Europeans
that's
used to
supposed to be
worship and
his
all.
penis, yeah.
Right.
So now, after he was killed, she got pregnant.
Okay.
And they claimed that she was born, Horus was born of a virgin birth, and Osiris was his mother. And when you see those pictures of what they call Mary Magdalene, Mary Mary, the mother of Jesus,
Right.
holding the baby, supposedly that they say is the Christ, that's supposed to really be Isis and Horus.
Wow.
What they say is Jesus. But the wonderful thing about it is that they're all black. All the originals are black people.
Right.
Part of that reason is because in ancient civilizations they worship black gods. Zeus was a black man. Hercules was a black man. All of those ancient deities were all black.
Wow.
And you'll see in the Vatican today, the Pope, he prays to a black Madonna, a black Virgin Mary with a little black baby in her arms. He prays to that, but they go out in the front and teach you to pray to the white deities.
Right.
It's amazing. But that's where the whole story of Jesus come from. But Jesus is not the only one that has that same story. There have been many different deities that people worshipped, and they all came in that same form, being born around the same time and born of an Immaculate Conception. One day do a research on it, born of the Immaculate Conception, and you'll see all these different deities that has come up, and many of them have been worshipped. One of them is the figure of the bull. And I'm trying to think of the deity's name, Mithra.
I heard that name
Yeah.
before. Yeah. I
His
heard that name
his
before.
image is the bull. Well, Mithra has the same identical. If you close the book and just read his book of Mithra, you would think they're talking about Jesus.
And that makes so much sense because I remember it was a debate that I was watching. I believe it was between IUC and the Kemet brothers.
Yes.
And they was trying to tell them that, well, everything that you say is in our what is it, the Egyptian, and that's
Book of the Dead.
right. And they were saying that everything that you're saying is in that and this and that. So what you saying makes a whole lot of sense.
But the difference is they should have showed them where it was, and instead of just telling them,
Right.
they should present it and read it out of their books. The Book of the Dead is not really a book at all. The Book of the Dead is a compilation of several different writings that they claim to have found that, for real, they can't even read the hieroglyphics. So how can they really tell you? They took a European man to put something together and say, this is what it means. And everybody goes off that European man's teachings. If they can really read the hieroglyphics, then they should be able to tell you how the
Right.
hieroglyphics was built.
Right.
And who built them, right?
Right.
Because I'm sure the history is there, right?
Right.
Okay then. That's just like they say they're going to the moon.
Yeah, that.
I mean, there's a lot of things out here that just don't make sense, but you got to really think about what it is that they're feeding you. If you don't, and you just accept whatever they're saying, then you're just a fool.
Right.
And that's not what this is about.
Right.
That's not what this is about.
Yeah, it's making sense. It's clicking because even when he said that, when I heard, I said, "Wow," because he was saying, "Yeah, everything that y'all saying is in the Book of the Dead and this and that." So now I'm thinking, like, well, how's that? You know what I mean? How's that?
Yeah, they never had a Book of the Dead.
Yeah.
They put different writings together and called it the Book of the Dead or the Book of Coming Before the Dawn, something in that nature. Yeah. So it's like two different books that they have that they put together.
And another thing about the when I was reading about what made me really, when I was saying about reading about reading this thing about Dawid, because Yah said that I'm your savior and no savior sits beside me.
That's right.
But that's what made me say, wait a minute now, because in the Christian church when I was in there, it was always Christ is the savior. You sure? You know what I mean? But y'all said that I'm Elohim is no savior. I'm your savior. There's no one beside me.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? So then I'm thinking like, wait a minute. Now, if y'all said that, how can Yeshua be? Whatever, and I know whatever y'all comes out of his mouth will not come back unfulfilled. I know that. So if he said that I'm your savior and there's none sent beside me, how can Yeshua be the savior? You know what I
Is your
mean?
father still alive?
No, he passed. He passed.
Because he'd be mad at you right now.
I,
But really, he might be applauding you because a lot of those people, they really know the truth. But they can't teach it because there's no money in it for them.
yeah, that's what made me leave it, because I was like, wait a minute. Because my thing is, if you're a pastor, technically you're supposed to know the Bible. That you're supposed to know it. Because you're teaching your flock, you're supposed to know what you're teaching. So my thing was, how can you say something, but I go home and read, and what I read is contradictory to what you're saying.
Most people don't read.
And I'm like, that's what made me leave. I said, but this just don't make sense. Cause I know I'm supposed to be following Yah. I'm supposed to be doing what Yah say do. So how can I read something that Yah says do? Like I gave you the example of the dietary law. Because the old pastor say, well, we're under grace, and if you pray over it, and now you can eat it. Yah never said that.
That's right.
All he said was, don't eat the swine nor touch his carcass, period. He didn't say, if you pray over it, Yahshua came. He didn't say none of that. He said, period, don't touch it.
Let me ask you this, though. Why is it so easy for you to turn your back on Yeshua? If you believe that so seriously, why is it so easy for you to accept what I'm saying to you?
Because the reason why I'm saying it's kind of easy, because, like I said, it's just making sense. Like, because when I grew up like that, but when I go into my stage, like I told you, even when I said yesterday, I know that Yah is the Father. And if Yah says that he's our Savior, and there's no Savior beside him, I don't understand how somebody else could say that this person is the Savior, but Yah said it is nobody but him.
And you got enough sense to see that. And we have brothers and sisters who've been living this way for years and still can't see that.
That's what I'm saying.
And you run off the street, 4 months off the street, and you can see it already.
That's what I say.
It's crazy.
I feel like, because that's what I'm saying. I always felt like something was missing. You know what I mean? Even when I left, like I just felt like God was telling me, leave that church stuff alone. But that's not it for you. I got something for you. Maybe I wasn't ready yet. You know what I mean? Mentally, whatever. But I always knew that spiritually, I want to follow God, and the Christian church ain't gonna have me doing it. You know what I mean? Just because from what I'm reading and stuff, there's no way. Like, even when I was telling you about us being the children of Yah, how can you have a church full of people, you're the pastor, and you know this? Because, like I said, you have to know it, you're the pastor.
Mm-hmm.
So you know this, and you've been teaching this congregation for 30-some years, and nobody in the congregation know that they Hebrew Israelites? Nobody? You know what I mean? So how's that possible? Like, I don't understand that. It's like, how can you? And that's some of the stuff that got me. And I was like, how can you? I mean, I've been in this church this whole time. Nobody ever read Deuteronomy to me. Nobody ever broke down Deuteronomy to me. Nobody ever told me that we were under the curses. Our forefathers messed up. That's why we got kicked out of Israel. Nobody never said that to me. Nobody. Even in church, when I was in church, as far as when they brought up Israel, they was always talking about them boys over there. You know what I mean? They never said that, yo, you're Israel. You need to follow the laws and statutes. That's why we're in this predicament now. Nobody never said that to me in church. Nobody. And when I read, and I'm like, and like I said with Deuteronomy, nobody, well, what Deuteronomy says, no other race on this planet, no other nation on this planet can claim that. You know what I mean? They claim that, been through that, but us. So if God is saying in Deuteronomy that they are the children, then that must mean we're the children. It must mean that. I don't see it no other way. You know what I mean? Because it don't describe nobody but us. Other nations been in captivity, but not that type of captivity. You know what I mean? So you can't say that, well, he's talking about this. No, because they didn't go through that type of stuff. That captivity was specific to us. Everybody didn't go through that. You know what I mean? People were in captivity, but they were in captivity in places that they knew, that they were around. It tells us we're going to be somewhere we didn't know, our fathers ain't know, we didn't know nothing about. Nobody ever been in that type of captivity but us. So I'm like, how in the world can you be a pastor and know this? And I've been sitting in church for years, and the first time I heard it is when I'm walking down the street and a Hebrew Israelite tell me. You know what I mean? That just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't.
It makes sense to me.
I mean, I just don't get it. Like, that,
Hebrew Israelites got the knowledge.
I'm like, that just is crazy. With the dietary laws and everything, it's just crazy. Like, you have a picture of white Jesus, and Revelation clearly tells us he was not white. He was not. That it clearly tells us that. You know what I mean? But you still, with the knowledge of that, still choose to hang that on it. That's why I said I can't. It just wasn't right to me. Like,
Well, the Christians teach that it doesn't matter what color their God was.
and you know what I say to that? This is what I say to that. They say it doesn't matter. Well, if it didn't matter, why was it changed in the first place? If it didn't matter, why it must have mattered. Y'all changed it. If it didn't matter, y'all left it alone. So you gonna tell me it only matters? It don't. And I figured out that it didn't matter when nobody said nothing about it. But as soon as I say Christ was black, or people, Abraham, everybody was black. Once I say that, now it's all, oh, well, color don't matter. But when the white Jesus was up there, nobody said color didn't matter. Everybody was just pointing, yeah, that's the Savior, that's the Savior, that's the Savior. But as soon as I say, well, I read that he wasn't that color, oh, well, now color don't matter. But it didn't matter. But before I told you that, it mattered. But now that I tell you something else, now it don't matter. You just got to study this. It don't matter no more. It don't matter. It has to matter because you changed it. If it didn't matter, if something didn't matter, you're going to leave it alone. You're not going to change something unless you're trying to hide something or deceive somebody. If it is what it is, you're going to leave it as it is. You know, and even with the Sunday thing. Like, how can you, if God said the Shabbat is on Saturday, who are you to say, oh, I'm going to make it Sunday? You're not Yah. You can't change what Yah said. How you going to just, you know what I mean? Like, he said the seventh day you shall rest. So how you want to tell me the first day of the week? That ain't what he said. You know what I mean? How can you change Yah words like that? You're not Yah. You can't. How can you do that? That's not, you know. And like I told you before, where he said, what come out my mouth will not come back forfeit. Like he told. So how can you say that? That's a lot of stuff that make me, because there's too many inconsistencies with the Christian church. There's too many, you know, just too much. Like I just, too much, this person changed this and did that. And I can't. I just can't do it. I can't. Because I value my soul. I value it. You know what I mean? I value my soul. So I can't play around with people that just, the Bible say this, but you telling me that. I can't play like that. I value my soul. I don't know about nobody else, but I value mine. So I want mine to be taken care of, right? So I can't be in nowhere where I'm reading y'all telling me to go this way and do that and live life this way, and then you telling me something else. It's just, even with like I said, the holidays. If I went to my old church now and said, what are the feast days? Nobody know what I'm talking about. But yet you would know Christmas, which Jeremiah tells us we should have nothing to do with. But you can tell me about that. You can tell me about Easter. You can tell me about Thanksgiving. But if I ask you about the Feast of Trumpets, you look at me like I'm stupid. If I tell you about Pentecost, you look at me like I'm an idiot. But that's what Yah told us to do. But he didn't tell us to do nothing about these other pagan holidays, but y'all know that like the back of your hand. That's why I said I got to get out of here. I can't, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I can't do it. There's no way that you can celebrate something that y'all, and like I said, when I read Jeremiah, I said he specifically told us, don't play around like that. Don't do it.
You smoke?
I'm trying to stop. Yeah, cigarettes. I'm really trying to stop. Bad.
You drink?
No. Mm-mm. I smoke cigarettes, though, but I'm trying to stop. I don't drink.
You're trying to stop.
It's hard. It's
Why
hard.
is it hard?
Flesh, it's hard.
You mentioned something earlier about what the Creator said you shouldn't do it. What
Right.
the Creator say don't do it. you know that cigarettes kill.
True.
You know that they're dangerous, they kill you, they destroy your lungs, and all that type of stuff. The smoke, it infiltrates your body and it eats up your liver and all that type of stuff. You know that, right?
Yeah, I do.
So what it is what you're doing is you're causing yourself a slow death. You understand that?
Mm.
You're actually causing yourself a slow death by smoking cigarettes and things. The Creator says, "Thou shalt not commit murder,"
Right.
and murder is to kill something unlawfully.
And I also know
So
that
you
our
actually
body is
kill
a
yourself.
temple, and we're not supposed to put nothing in that temple.
Why you do it? I ain't
Yes.
trying to be hard
No,
on you.
no,
I ain't trying
listen,
to judge you.
Listen.
I'm just
listen,
giving you some things, planting some seeds,
Listen.
and if the Creator allows for them to grow, they will grow.
Listen. I don't think you're being hard on me. Did tell you the truth. I would rather you tell me this type of stuff than me just, you know what I mean? Because that's helping me. You know what I mean? That's helping me, and I want to. I want to be help. I want to. I know that I need guidance, and because like I said, I'm new to this. I'm new, and I know I don't know everything. I don't even know half the stuff. I might not even know a quarter. You know what I mean?
You
And,
know a lot for a new dude, man.
I'm just really
You know
trying
a whole
to.
lot for somebody new.
That's a blessing. I'm
Yeah, but then I got to look at your background, you know, your family, you come
Mhm.
up in this, so yeah. I can see why you know a lot of the things that you know. Well, that's good.
But I'm really. I think you know what? No more cigarettes.
No, don't say it to me.
No.
Say it to the Creator.
You right.
You ain't got to confess nothing to man unless you sin against man. Other than that, every confession, every oath that you make, every covenant
Has to
goes
be with Yah.
unto the Almighty. Unless you choose to make it with man. But other than that, it goes to the Almighty because He knows what's in your heart, what's in your inward parts. You know, He knows what's really behind the words that you speak.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell me anything you want to gratify me, it don't matter, and I don't care anyway.
Right.
You ain't got to say nothing to me. I
Right.
don't care. But your actions and what you do when you're away from me is what matters the most.
That's what's going to count.
Everybody holy and righteous on the Shabbat day. But how are they living the other 6 days of the week?
Right. Yeah, but like I said, I'm getting it. Right? I cut out a whole lot of stuff, like whole lot of stuff. Whole lot
Well,
of
I'm going to
stuff.
tell you a little thing right now. This may be the beginning of something great between you and I and you and the Creator. And if it is that the Father chooses for you to walk with me, your whole life going to change.
I wanted to, bro.
Yeah, a whole lot of things about you are going to have to change just so we could be in the same circle.
I want him to change. I'm not. When I tell you, brother, I want to serve Yah. I
You're
want
going to have
to.
to stand up and be a man.
I have no problem with
That
that.
means take on manly responsibilities and do what men do.
I have no problem
We're
with
going to
that.
be traveling the earth, right?
Mhm.
And if we traveling the earth, we can't be standing here telling men how to conduct themselves as men, and we're not doing it ourselves.
Exactly.
It can't happen. Not with me, it can't happen.
Brother, I want to change,
Okay? Well, that's one of the things that you have to start dealing with.
and that's not a problem.
Okay?
That's not a
I'm
problem.
going to teach you how to speak Hebrew.
I
I'm
wanted.
going to send you to a class where a brother can teach you so that you'll learn
I wanted to
how to
learn.
begin the Hebrew. I'm going to teach you about Greek.
I
I'm
wanted.
going to teach you about the book, the Tanakh, the writings. I'm going to teach you about your health. I'm going to teach you how to make this healthy.
Brother, I want it. I want it. I'm learning for the knowledge.
Well, I hear what you're saying.
No, listen. And I'm gonna show you. I know, and I know you probably heard people say that before.
All the time.
But brother, I feel it in my spirit. Like I don't want to do nothing else but serve Yah. I don't want nothing to do with this world. I want to serve Yah. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
I don't want to do nothing else that's against that.
No more fornication, right?
No more fornication.
What's fornication?
Fornication is as far as I understand it, is having sex when you're not married. I could be wrong.
You wrong.
Okay. and listen, I know I'm young in this, so I want to learn.
No, even those who are older than this don't know. Fornication is violating of the Creator's laws. Period.
Okay.
Willfully.
Okay.
So if having sex with a woman that you ain't married to in your mind is a violation of the Creator's laws, then you're violating His laws.
Okay.
Whatever the Creator is to you is how you live your life.
Okay.
And if I can't manifest the Creator to you in your life, then you don't need to be with me. Stay away from any man that, like today, we've been together for less than an hour per se, and you just happen to have walked up on me at a time when we made prayer. If you were around a man for a whole day and that man ain't making prayer, something wrong with that man.
Right.
You need to get away from that man, honestly. And I'm not talking about in the form of worship like y'all on a Shabbat day and he making prayer in the community. I'm talking about just taking time out of his day to give back something special to the Creator. If you in a company of men and they don't do that often, like daily, 2-3 times a day, or once a day, at least once a day, something wrong with that individual, and you should stay away from him, because it ain't got nothing to do with the Creator. Any man who is a servant of the Almighty should daily speak of the Creator, live his life worshiping the Creator, honoring the Creator daily. It's just a common fact. You as a Hebrew brother and a Hebrew sister, for those who may be listening, you should teach yourself to constantly thank the Creator to the point where you don't even have to think about it. It's just coming off your lips. Thank Him for whatever it is, because we got so much to be thankful for, we can never thank Him enough.
Right.
Always have to remember that. That's one way of purifying your essence, building yourself up, giving yourself the proper spiritual fine-tuning that we all need. Yeah. Always keep the Creator in the forefront of your mind. Anything that you do, thank the Creator for it. I don't care if you making love to your woman, you thank the Creator, because you don't have to have a woman to make love to.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
So be thankful for everything. When you eat your food, you thank Him. When you take a bath, you thank Him. When you wake up in the morning, that's the first thing you do. Thank the Creator, and then drink a glass of water. Every day. The glass of water is not ritual. The glass of water is because water is the first thing you should put in your body after resting.
Okay.
So if you really serious about this walk, and you really want to learn, and you want me to teach you, you can go anywhere you want. I'm telling you, go somewhere. I ain't going to tell you to come stay here with me. I'm going to tell you, go somewhere else. See what the world got to offer you first. And when you're tired of all that foolishness, then I'm right here, right up the street from you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I'm tired of foolishness now.
Okay?
I don't need to go through the foolishness no more. I'm tired now, and I know that I'm not promised tomorrow. I know this could all end. Like I said, he come back as a thief in the night. It could all end whenever.
When do you work? What days of the week you work?
I work. I'm off Wednesdays, and I just changed my schedule about a month ago because I knew that I had to have the Shabbat off, and I wanted to respect that. So I get off at work at Friday, because my understanding of the Shabbat is that it starts when the sun goes down Friday and ends when the sun goes down Saturday.
Correct.
So I told my job that I work from 9 in the morning to 5. So at 5 o'clock Friday, I'm off so I can observe Shabbat, and Saturday I'm off, period, so I can observe Shabbat.
And how long you been working on your job?
About 2 years now.
So you got that kind of seniority that you can just take off on Saturdays.
Yeah, because I told him, when I switched, I told my boss, I said, listen, I understand, but, it's just the point that I'm good at my job, and they need me there. So I told him, listen, I'm making a change in my life, and I'm becoming what I should have always been, a Hebrew Israelite. And part of that means I have to observe Shabbat. There's no getting around it. So I have to have that Friday night off and that complete Saturday off. And he said, all right, no problem.
This coming Wednesday is a Shabbat.
Okay.
It's the last day of Sukkot.
Well, I'm off.
Yeah. This coming Wednesday. It starts Tuesday night. Our days start in the evening. So Tuesday night until Wednesday night is the last day of the holy days.
Okay. Well, I'll be right here. I'll be right here this week because I, like I said, brother, I don't want to do nothing else. I want to learn how to serve Yah the right way, because I've learned how to serve Him the wrong way my whole life.
All right. Well, the key to all this is just like I just told you. I don't even want you to trust me. Anything that I teach you, I want you to go back and research for yourself to prove me wrong. And if you can't prove me wrong, then you accept it, at least for the time being, until you are able to prove me wrong. I just don't believe that you'll be able to prove me wrong, but anything that I share with you and teach, call myself exchanging information with you, because I'm going to do my best to educate you to this truth. This is just the beginning of a long, 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 long walk for you. Even if you stop worshiping the Creator right now, it's still the beginning of a long, long, long walk, because you can't deny the power of the Almighty.
No.
You can't deny Him. He's in everything.
Right.
Right? So whatever as much as you want to learn, as intense as you want to learn, I can share that information. I have write-ups for you. We got plenty of YouTube videos on YouTube under Prince Israel, Israel, or Prince Israel with a Y, Yisrael, or you can go to Temple Kefarim,
Okay.
Temple Kefarim. Kefarim is spelled Kefarym.
Okay.
Go to Temple Kefarim on YouTube and you can watch tons of videos. And I just sent you the Facebook thing so you can go to my Facebook page and watch videos on there as well. There's a lot of different groups out. Shema Yisrael, that's one that's on YouTube. You can go to another group is the House of Israel.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard it. I've
House
heard
of Israel
it.
in Atlanta, the House of Israel in Cincinnati. Those are two. And then you got one, DCB.
Okay.
Just type in DCB, they're in New York. That's another group that you can go to. Those are about the only ones that I would affiliate with
Okay.
that I could say are absolutely going to be worshiping the Creator.
Okay.
They might all do it slightly different, but the direction of where they'll be directing you, your loyalty and your honor, is to the Creator.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have any problem with those brothers.
Okay.
It's another young brother, one of my spiritual sons, Landine. He has a place on there called the Mighty Hebrew.
I heard of that too.
Yeah, he has a couple things on YouTube and Facebook and all that type of stuff. But you'll become to know these people because as we grow, just like the other brother from last week, I'm gonna take all y'all around and I'm gonna visit y'all to these places. But I gotta make sure y'all right first,
Right.
because if you ain't right and I take you to these places, then that makes me look bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they actually come up and speak and you get up there and start talking about Jesus,
No.
we
No.
gonna have problems. So we gotta make sure,
Right.
that you do what's right. So we gotta make sure that y'all brothers are on point, thoroughly learned, and respectful to the women, because you have to be respectful to our women in Israel. They've been abused for so long, man. It's just
That's another reason. Like some of the camps that I would see them, they be. I'm like, man, I just know that we ain't supposed. Inside my spirit would tell me we ain't supposed to treat our ladies like that. You know what I mean? But I would see them doing it, and it just didn't feel right.
and
to
the
me.
bad part is they accept it.
Yeah, see that
They
didn't
accept
feel
it
right.
openly, but behind closed doors, they talking about it, cussing them out. They're unhappy.
Mm.
Their lives are miserable. But we, as the light bearers, as the truth bringers and the servants of the Almighty, servants of the Almighty, we have to bring truth. And the truth is that our women are supposed to be protected. They're supposed to be nurtured. They're supposed to be
Right.
honored, respected, and
Right.
revered. And a lot of our men, the respect that we show to females is horrible. It's almost as if you're disrespecting your own mother and sister.
Right.
But you would have a problem if another man did it to him, but you're willing to do it to another female. It's just not cool.
Reason why I think that I'm good as far as with the women part, because like I said, my dad was in the Christian church. But one thing I can say, before he passed, he loved my mother, and he made sure that my mom was okay. She was taken care of. He never disrespected my mom. He never went out of the marriage on my mom.
That you know of.
That I know of. Yeah, because
He's
you know,
married.
that I know of. But he never brought it around me and my sister.
That's good.
He never,
They show respect.
right. And he always, like when my mom was sick, he took care of her. He made sure that she was okay. She had a accident years ago when I was small, and she wanted to go back to work, and my dad told her no. He said, your job is to take care of my children. My job is to take care of this house and be the head of this house. So I understand. That's why I said it didn't feel right to me when I was here, because I didn't grow up that way. So when I hear the camps say certain things about the ladies and to the ladies, the way they were talking to them, and the way I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised that you should, be that way. I was raised that we should teach our women, but not that type of way.
I was raised that way, in this way of life. A lot of the elders taught us to be disrespectful to women.
Mm.
And for many years I was that way. Very disrespectful. I didn't care. You did what I say do, because I say do it when I say do it, and that was the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until maybe about 5 years ago, maybe 6, that I began to examine my behavior and had to turn from that way, because it wasn't right, it wasn't respectful, it wasn't honorable. There's no way that a true man of the Creator can be a man of the Creator and teach this truth and still be disrespectful to his lady or any woman. So I'm totally different now.
Right. Because I know, like the Bible says, man love thy wife. It tell you to do
You
that.
do?
Yeah.
Where?
Well, that's what I was taught.
I ain't never heard nowhere in the Bible that I read where it says man is commanded to love his wife. Never.
Okay.
I
Okay.
haven't read that. So
Okay.
maybe that's another one of them Christian things. That
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I was. There you go.
Man, love thy wife. I ain't never heard that. Because, and I say that because a lot of marriages has nothing to do with love.
True.
You can grow to love somebody, but you don't marry a person because you love a person. You marry a person because they're right for you.
True.
They serve your purpose in life. You know, they're beneficial toward your job of worshiping. You see how my phone just cut on?
Mm-hmm.
I tried to tell my wife that my phone cuts on its own. Now, did I say anything to Siri?
No.
But you heard Siri
Yeah,
just cut on. Is it on or what?
It's on. It's on right there.
I cut my phone off for that reason. One day I was in my room talking, and my phone just started talking to me, just like just now.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I cut it off
That's
because I
good.
didn't say anything to it. So
Right.
why was it responding to me?
Exactly.
Now you seen that, right?
Yeah,
I didn't
just
make
said
that up.
It
did
was
I?
over there.
Yeah,
Brian.
that's right.
We was talking. It was over there by
And
itself.
she don't believe me. Yeah, right. Your phone ain't saying nothing. Yeah, it did.
Yes, it did. And you didn't touch it. It was
I ain't
over
touched
there.
it. Them phones is crazy, man.
Yeah.
That means they're always listening.
Mm-hmm.
They always listen.
I know. Cause I got a smart TV and sometimes be scared looking because
Unplug it.
Yeah, I heard the report that they got the cameras and they
Yeah.
can look all in it. Y'all say, man, I don't know.
Unplug it, man. Unplug it. Don't trust them, man. I don't trust them.
So
That was just the bare record just now that what I was saying was a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Them joints be listening. My phone came on. I was in my room talking, maybe hollering at my kids or something, and my phone started talking like, "I didn't hear you, Prince. What did you say?" Or the definition. Was looking up the definitions, and my iPad both did at the same time. I said, "Well, wait a minute." I got them turn the wall off.
Exactly, like
Yeah.
that don't make sense. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use your method, turn that smart TV
Crazy,
on.
man.
Because I was like, because somebody told me that, like, you know, when you're looking at it, when you ain't looking at it, you know, there's a camera in there and it's looking and listening. And I was like, are you serious?
You gotta watch that stuff. Man. You gotta watch it. I guess that's their form of crime prevention. No, they just want to eavesdrop.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know who you are. That's why when you call to get repairs or when you buy it, they want you to register it.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll know who you are. They have your information. They know just what button to push on their controller so they can listen to your household. They want you to register your television. Crazy. They do some stuff, man. So, what we can get into the book about? Anything you want to discuss in the book?
Everything.
All right. Let's start at Genesis. Let's just
Yeah,
do the
okay.
first chapter of Genesis.
Okay.
And I'm going to have to remember that as we're reading that you're a beginner, so I won't come too heavy. There's a lot of stuff I could share,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, but I don't want to share too much because I don't want to confuse you.
Okay.
But in time, you're going to get the whole spectrum of things. You're going to drop your joints.
Oh,
You're going to get the whole spectrum.
okay.
So my book, it says, the first part of Genesis focuses on the beginning and spread of sin in the world and culminates in the devastating flood in the days of Noah. The second part of the book focuses on God's dealings with one man, Abraham, through whom Elohim promises to bring salvation and blessings to the world. Abraham and his descendants learn firsthand that it is always safe to trust in the Creator in the times of famine and feasting, blessing and bondage. From Abraham to Isaac, to Jacob to Joseph, Elohim's promises begins to come to fruition in a great nation possessing a great land. Genesis is a Greek word meaning origin
Okay.
or beginnings, basically generations. Source, origin, source, or generations, or beginning. The original Hebrew title Bereshit. Bereshit means in beginning, or in a beginning, not in the beginning.
Okay.
They're going to tell you in the beginning, but it doesn't mean in the beginning. Bereshit, if it was going to say in the beginning, it would say Bereshit.
Okay.
But what it says is Bereshit. Bereshit means in a beginning. Okay, they say the origin Hebrew Bereshit means in the beginning, just like I told you. And that's not what it means. The literary structure of Genesis is clear and is built around 11 separate units, each including the word generations in the phrase, "These are the generations." or the book of the generations, and it speaks about all the genealogies. Okay?
Okay.
You read?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I have to ask. Everybody can read.
Right.
No disrespect.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You want to start?
Okay. In the beginning, God
Yeah,
created.
speak a little louder than that, man.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot.
people
Yeah.
listen to you.
In the beginning, God created heaven and earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters.
All right, stop right there. The word God in English, in most places of the Bible, in Hebrew it says Elohim.
Right,
Doesn't say God.
right.
So most Hebrews, if not 99% of them, we don't say God, we say Elohim.
That's why I
Yes.
went to 611 so bad. That's why.
Well, you just change it up on your own.
Okay.
When you see God, you just
It
put in
said
there Elohim. Yes.
Okay.
Now I want you to pay attention to what it's saying. Remember, it's not in the beginning, but it's in a beginning.
Okay.
So in a beginning, read again.
In a beginning, Elohim created heaven and the earth.
So now what we're about to read about is the formation of the heavens and the earth.
Right.
Hashemayim is the heavens, and Eretz is the earth.
Okay.
The word for earth is Eretz.
Okay.
Adoma is the word for ground.
Okay.
That's Adam's name. Adon.
Adam.
Adam?
Yeah.
The Adon means blood and earth. Dome is blood. Adoma is earth. So Adam was made of blood
Blood
and
and
earth.
Okay.
You want to start it over again?
Okay. In the beginning, Elohim created. What was heaven again? The word.
It don't matter.
Okay.
Hashemayim.
Hashemayim and earth. And the earth was without form.
So now what that means is that the earth didn't have no structure to it.
Okay.
Okay? It wasn't formulated. It wasn't there. Okay? So read on.
And earth and void. And darkness was upon the face of the deep.
What was upon the face of the deep?
Darkness.
Who was the light?
What was it like?
Where was the light?
Where was the light at that time? God didn't create it yet.
So what was first?
Darkness.
Darkness, right?
Right.
Thank you. Read on.
And darkness was upon the face of the deep.
Yeah, read a little louder.
Oh, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Ruach of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters. And Elohim said, let there be light. And there was light. And Elohim saw the light, that it was good. And Elohim divided the light from the darkness.
Let me share something with you. The reason why it's important that you try to put in Elohim instead of saying God is because God is a deity.
Somebody told me
It's
that.
a German deity, God.
Okay.
Okay, so every time you say God, you're actually giving credit to this deity, although in your mind you think you're talking about the Almighty,
Right.
but you're not. Okay,
Okay.
so you shouldn't use the word God.
Okay.
You say Elohim, or you say the power, the creator, or whatever you want to say, but you shouldn't say God.
Okay.
Now you got a lot of Hebrews that are learned in this way, and they still say God. Why, I don't know. Maybe they're just accustomed to doing it, and they know the truth,
Mm,
but they still do it.
mm,
So don't feel bad.
okay. And Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. And Elohim saw the light, that it was good. And Elohim divided the light from the darkness.
So where did he divide the light from?
The darkness.
Okay. So where was the light at?
He said, let there be light. He created
So
it.
where was the light at? If he divided the light from the darkness, then where was the light when he divided it?
It had to be with the darkness.
It had to be within the darkness. There is nothing totally completely dark except darkness. It's thick darkness, gross darkness. That's dark.
Right.
But even within the dark, there's light. Because you can close your eyes and you can see a form of light, although it's dark. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But that light is not enough light. It's not the light of the day.
Okay.
It's not a light that will illuminate that you can see. But it does exist. It exists within the darkness. Correct.
And God called the light day.
What did he call the light?
Day.
Uh-huh.
And the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day.
So what sounds like the beginning of a day to you?
The evening and the morning.
Okay, there you go. Now we just met, right?
Right.
And you just picked that up on your own, right? I didn't have to teach you that, right?
No.
Okay, there you go. We got people who argue at debate on that same subject right now. They say that a day begins when the sun rises. And they really believe that. And that you have to respect it because it's their beliefs.
Right.
You always respect your people, whatever they believe. You don't make fun of them, you don't belittle them, you respect them and you honor them on whatever they believe. But when the time comes that you actually have the chance to sit down and discuss it with them, then you sit down and you discuss it with them.
Okay.
Educationally is how we solve our problems, intelligently. We don't hold grudges against our people because they slightly or drastically disagree with what we teach or they teach or believe something differently. We don't do that. That's mistake number one.
Okay.
That would always keep us separated.
Right.
So you respect the brother for his beliefs. All right?
Okay. And God called the light, and Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day.
So the evening, there was evening, and there was morning. One day. Back to evening again. Because the next one starts with evening again.
Right.
Right?
And Elohim said, "Let there be firmament in the midst of the waters."
Now, firmament is Hashemayim, or Rakia. Rakia is firmament.
Okay.
A Rakia is an expansion in the sky that separates the heavens from the earth.
Okay.
Now, in ancient folklore, they say that in Arakia is where the angels dwell. Arakia.
I heard the angels dwell in between. I heard that before. I did hear that before.
Now, I'm not saying that that's a fact. I'm not
Okay.
saying that it's true. I'm just sharing you what folklore says.
Okay.
Okay?
And Elohim said, "Let there be firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters."
Now, that verse, many people don't understand. I mean, I'm not going to say they don't understand, but they don't even pay attention to it. Read that part again.
And Elohim said, "Let there be firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters."
And it was so. So now, what is that really saying? It's saying that there's a big blob of water
Okay.
in creation that exists within the darkness because the water, the darkness is over everything.
Right.
So that water exists within that darkness. And within that darkness, there's a firmament that separates the high waters, which is Hashemayim, from the low waters, which is Shemayim. Now that low water, Shemayim, is going to be actually turned into the low water, Shemayim is going to be actually turned into what they're going to call the earth. It's going to form the earth. The kid is going to speak the words, and dry land is going to appear out of the water. Now, have you ever taken a cup of water, and pour some water on the table, don't wipe it up, and just let it sit?
Mm.
You see what happens when you let it dry up?
Right.
What happens?
It leaves a little.
A little crusty thing, right?
Right.
That's right. Now, can you imagine doing that 100 million times? How much crust would actually
Right.
begin to form? See, that's something. Because this earth is 90% water.
Yes, it is.
And it's, in reality, if you really understand it, it's 100% water. Because everything
It's
is
water.
You know.
And Elohim made the firmament and divided the waters which they were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And Elohim called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day.
In the evening. And in the morning
were
was the second day. Not the morning
day.
down to the evening, but the evening all the way to the morning, and the completion of the morning, just like the completion of the evening, made one day. So now we're dealing with the second day.
Right.
You know.
And Elohim said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place."
So now he's forming the earth. He's bringing all that water underneath of the heavens, the Hashemayim, bringing it all together into one place. Read on.
And God called the dry land earth, and gathered.
You missed
Yeah, I
something.
missed it. Okay. And Elohim let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear, and it was so. And Elohim called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas.
So the dry land he called the earth. But the earth didn't compass everything, and everything that it didn't compass he called seas. Because there was still water where the dry land appeared, separate the dry land or wherever it was, but at this time there was no separation.
Okay.
You know, it was all just one land.
Right.
They call that continental drift when a part of the earth splits open and it moves to different regions or it separates. They call it continental drift.
Okay. And seas and okay, and God and Elohim called the dry land earth, and gathered together of the waters called he seas. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding fruit, and the fruit tree yielding fruit, after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so.
Now that's very important. The Creator said all the fruit and the vegetation shall have the seed within itself.
Right.
So when you go to the store and you buy watermelon and grapes that don't have seeds in them,
That's not
you
fruit.
shouldn't eat them.
Right.
Because the ones the Creator created
Has seeds.
had
in
his
it.
own seeds in it. That's correct.
Makes sense. And the earth brought forth grass, and yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself
There you go.
after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good.
Now I want you to notice this. At the end of every creation or formation that's done, because nothing is actually being created here. Everything is being formed from something else.
Right.
So now, at the end of every formation, it's never saying that everything was perfect. It only says that everything was good.
Right.
And that only means that it was working according to plan.
Right.
That's all it means. It doesn't mean that it's perfect. It means it's good.
Okay.
All right? Verse
And-
13.
And the evening and the morning were the third day. And Elohim said, let there be light in the firmament of heaven.
Now let there be light in the firmament of the heavens. That means he's ready to illuminate the sky. We don't.
To divide the day from the night.
To divide what?
The day from the night.
Let that light divide day from night. So until this point, day and night was one thing.
Right.
So he says now, let this firmament in the sky. Now day and night was one thing, but it was day. It was
Right.
night.
Right.
Right?
Right.
He brought that separation, but he hadn't put it in place. So now he's saying, let these lights divide day from night. Read on. Let's see what he says after that.
And let them be signs.
Let
For-
them be for something.
Let them be for signs, and for the seasons, and for the days, and years.
So now, let them be for signs for the days, the seasons, and the years. So a day of the week, the seasons that we're in, and the time of the year that we're dealing with. Each one was governed by a light. Ain't that what that said?
Yes, it is.
So the month, when the day of the week starts its counting, the beginning of a month, then we should be looking for a light. Because
Right.
the Creator says here that the light shall govern these
The beginning.
days. That's right. So that light that we're looking for, we use the crescent moon to be the first visible light to determine the beginning of our months.
I've heard. Yeah, I've heard that. Yes, I have heard that.
Okay? Read on.
And Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also.
Now, anywhere in that scripture that we just read, did it say that the Creator made a moon?
No,
Did it say that He made a sun?
no,
He said He made a light, right?
yeah,
So why are we looking for the moon? We're not looking for the moon.
right,
We're looking for that first visible crescent, which is a light. The moon is always there,
right,
but the light is not always there.
right,
So we're looking for the first sign of that light that appears. The Creator never said look for the moon.
right.
He said look for the lights, and the light shall let you know the time of the seasons, days, and the years. So that's what we must do.
Okay.
So that means that we can't use a dark moon and say it's the beginning of our months.
Right,
Because the Creator said, the Father said, the Most Holy One said, the light shall be a sign. Read on.
Okay, 17. And Elohim set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And Elohim saw that it was good.
He saw that it was what?
Good.
Good. Not perfect.
Good.
Good.
And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And Elohim said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life.
Stop right there. He said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that have life. Right?
Right.
Now be real careful when you read these next couple of verses. Read on.
And the fowl that may fly above the, and the fowl that may fly above the earth.
And the what?
And the fowl.
What's a fowl?
Bird.
So you telling me the birds came from the water?
Yeah.
Chicken does taste like fish, don't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Read on. The
And
fowls.
the fowls. Oh, and the fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And Elohim created great whales and every living creature that moveth.
Tahanim is the word that they have for whales. And they believe that this Tahanim is the dinosaurs.
Okay.
A lot of scholars say that this is the time of the dinosaurs when the dinosaurs was created in the beginning of creation.
Okay. Which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good.
Not what?
Not great, not perfect, good.
Good.
And Elohim blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth, and the evening.
So he took the fowls, he said, fowls, you're going to multiply upon the earth.
Right.
But all the fish, he allowed to multiply in the seas.
Right.
You see that?
Mhm.
So where the birds come from?
They came from within fruit.
If you ever look at a bird, it look like a fish.
Yeah.
It got a beak like a fish. It got wings on the side like a fish. It got a little tail in the back like a fish. And it flies like a fish flying in the water.
And the scales is kind of labeled. I
Like
mean, the
the
fins,
feathers,
is,
that's
yeah,
right.
it's kind of layered.
They
like the
layer
same-
just like,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
And that's where the birds came from the
Wow.
ocean. But you would never know. Many people been living this truth for years and don't know until they see this video. They be like, damn, you know what? I guarantee you. Read on, please.
And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And God said, and Elohim said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle, and the creeping thing, and the beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And Elohim made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth among the earth after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good.
Now, here go the famous Genesis 1 and 26. This is where the Christians try to squeeze in their hero. Read on.
And Elohim said, let us make man in our own image, after our likeness, and let them have domination over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over everything creepeth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. And Elohim created man in his own image, and in the image of Elohim created him. In the image of Elohim created he him. Male and female created he them. And Elohim blessed them. And Elohim said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over it, over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
So he said that twice.
Yes, he did.
So he meant it. He repeated it.
Yes, he did. And Elohim said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed.
What do you say?
Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed,
For what?
for which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, and every tree, and the which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat.
It should be what?
For meat.
What we should eat, right?
Yes, sir.
Did it say any cattle?
No.
Did it say any pork chops?
No.
Did it say any lamb chops?
No.
Did it say any beef?
No.
Did it say any birds?
No.
What do you say gonna give us for food to eat?
Seed.
Herbs.
Herbs.
Natural grass.
Right.
Things that grow. So why are we eating each other? Why are we eating animals?
Wow, I never knew that.
Mm.
I
Something to
never
think
knew
about, right?
that. Right.
That's right.
I never knew that.
If you want to live this life and do it the way that it was naturally intended for you to live, why are you eating animals?
Wow. I never knew that. I never knew
In the
that.
9th chapter of Genesis, he says that he gives you this thing because of your desires. It wasn't what he intended for you to do. That wasn't the lifestyle that he had for us to live. The lifestyle that the Creator had for us to live was a lifestyle of fruits and vegetables and nuts, and vegetation, and water. That's what we're supposed to eat.
Wow. Wow.
I told you our minds are so far screwed up.
I never knew that. I really never knew that. Wow. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat.
So that means that everything was created supposed to eat the herbs, the vegetation, the green, the grass, and those things. Every bird, every cattle, every animal, everything. The lions wasn't supposed to eat little animals or humans. The lions were supposed to eat vegetation.
Wow.
Everything was supposed to eat vegetation. But the earth became so corrupt and so wicked. And I believe that that's the reason why the Creator destroyed us the first time. Because we were intended to eat vegetation and we started eating each other.
Wow.
That's my theory though.
Wow. And to every beast on the earth, and to every, well, I read that. Okay.
31.
And Elohim saw everything that he made, and behold, it was very,
Very good. Everything that he saw, and behold, it was
very good.
very good. Not perfect,
Very good.
very good.
And the evening and the morning were the sixth day.
All right. Any questions?
You, that right there opened my eyes up a lot. I never knew we wasn't intended to eat cattle, and I never knew that.
No, he wasn't.
Nobody never, wow. I didn't know that. And
I
it's
wasn't.
funny because people used to tell me that, like vegetarians and stuff, and I'm like, man, I'm a carnivore. I'm a carnivore. And now to know that they were telling me correct that whole time, and I'm just, oh, you got that. I'm a carnivore. I want a hamburger. I want this. Wow.
Yep, we wasn't intended to eat meat originally.
Wow.
We were intended to be vegetarians.
Wow.
Actually, vegans.
Wow. That's amazing because I never knew that. Never.
Yep. So now you got your lesson for the day.
Yes, I did. And you said you're doing something Tuesday night?
Yeah, it'll be Wednesday probably on the daytime. We'll
Wednesday.
probably just sit around and have another study.
Tell me what time and I'm
I'm gonna
being.
give you my number. You got
Okay.
your phone with you?
Yes, I do. I have to. I'm enjoying this. Yo, this is that. As I said, guy, and it's funny that I seen you today because I was telling God for the last couple weeks. I said, God, I need. It's so much information. I need. I need to. It's so much, and like being us talking, we coming from the Bible and everything, and I'm feeling what you're telling me is the truth. Like I don't have any recompense. Like I don't know what he's talking about. It don't sound right. Everything you're saying in my spirit, it's right. I mean, it sounds right to me. Like this is, and I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Oh wow, this is.
Lost your phone?
No, I got it in my back pocket. I ain't know what pocket I had. This is.